like taking the basics of a blink, the basic timings of it, and then little things you can do, little nuances you can add on later to make it feel a little bit more organic. Here we have just a basic 10-frame blink, leading with the upper eyelids first. So the upper eyelids would come down a little bit slow. You'll get this slow out. So like by frame 3, it's almost halfway down. And then also the bottom lid is moving up a little bit as well. They meet in the middle, but then the upper eyelid would push the lower eyelid down, and then it would retract back up, kind of almost like a bouncing ball. So you can see how they meet a little bit, maybe around the 65% mark of the eye. But again, this is going to vary depending on your head angle and stuff. But for generic purposes, they're going to meet in about the 65 to 70% down mark of the eye. So that's just a basic blink. And then I drew up a basic diagram just to kind of show the exact frames for it too, frame by frame. The next level up is adding a little bit of a brow movement in there too, and then a little bit of the lower lid and cheek too. So you're getting this compression from both ends. And so this kind of helps it feel just a little bit more organic, like everything is connected, which it is. So that's adding a little bit of brow, a little bit of lower lid, and then so what I did for that, here's your main brow mover, the top lid, and then I would use these controls, the eye shapers, and you can move these a little bit up and down, and it gets that nice organic feel without having to move all 3 of these brow controls. You can just use this one mover, twist it a little bit to get that organicness in the face. And the same for the bottom one here, the bottom shaper as well. The next level up, you can add a little bit of an actual pupil move too. So as the lid passes over the iris and the pupil, they can actually move down a little bit with the lid, almost like the lid is pushing the iris and the pupil when it goes down with it. And the same thing when it comes up. You could see how the pupil and the iris kind of follow the lid as it comes up as well. So that's another small detail you can add in there. The final nuance thing you can kind of add in there would be to actually offset the blinks. So you can actually add a bit of like either a frame or even half a frame offset. So you can see how the lids come down. They showed us a couple of slow motion views of eyes at work, and people do that. It's very, very, very subtle. You can't really have a major offset where one's completely down and one's completely up. But again, it could be a little bit of a nuance thing if you have time to add it in there. Here's another thing you could do just for appeal's sake. So if you have a head turn, you'll probably want to add a blink in there for the change in eye direction. So here's a generic head turn where all I did was the rotation of the head and just added a generic blink in there. One thing I'm not taking advantage of is eye direction. Here's a more refined pass of it. And what I did was, I know that the character is looking screen right. So what I did was I favored the eye shapes to go this direction at first. So you could see how I made this eye just a little bit bigger, and I shrank down this eye. Same thing with the brows. And the same thing I did for this side here too. And then applying all the same principles, it just makes it feel a little bit more organic. I did the offset of the blinks. Again, I'm utilizing the brows and the lower lids and cheeks in the closing of the eyes. And a nice little thing too you can add is, like, if the bottom lids and the cheeks are involved too, you can also involve a little bit of the nose too. So I put a little bit of a squish in the nose as well, just to, again, it's conveying the idea that everything is connected on the face. So if the eyes are squishing down, the brows are going to squish down, cheeks are going to squish up, and the nose is going to squish up just a little bit too. Again, it's like making sure everything feels connected and organic. Here's a quick little thing I did just to show some variation into your blinks. Sometimes what the eye would do is do a pre-blink, like a half blink. So you could add like maybe a half blink before the actual blink happens. All these are just ideas. Here I just took basic eye poses, only using the lid movers. Here, not only using the lid movers, I also included those eye shapers as well. So, be sure to utilize everything you can on the face to convey the specific emotion. Don't limit yourself to only one or two controllers. Use as much as you can. Same thing here. See, it's a closed eyelid, and I squished it down just a little bit. And also offsetting as well. The computer likes to, keep things very even and balanced. Find ways to offset the face or even in the body too. Look for ways to kind of make things asymmetrical. And then here's one just showing how usually the iris and the pupil will always rest against the lid some way. It's really rare for the eye to actually be showing white all around, at least in a cartoony graphic sense. You wouldn't really see white surrounding the iris and the pupil unless they were either looking straight on or surprised. So if you have a character looking in a certain direction, be sure to rest the iris and the pupil against the actual eyelid.